The spear is a brand new tiered weapon added to Mniecraft in the Mounts of Mayhem update. Today, from how to craft it to the best enchanted spear to some secret tips and tricks, we're going to take a look at everything you need to know about the spear for the new update. Down below, which enchantment is best out of these three? Which one do you always go for? Let me know. Hit that like button hard and soft, Billie Eilish. And Members Club, there's a world download of this world out right now. Subscribe and tap that join button for a little bit more info on that. The spear is a brand new weapon that you are able to unlock in Minecraft dungeons by defeating different enemies and foes throughout the world. Wait a second. That's wrong. No, the spear is a brand new tiered weapon, the first one added to the game in like literally ever. On Minecraft, Java, and Bedrock, this thing is pretty much in perfect parity. There are 7 different versions of it, each resource material tier getting a spear. To get started with the spear, you're of course going to need to go out into your world and craft one. Crafting one, well, lucky for you, it's very simple. 2 sticks and 1 material of your choice. 2 sticks and 1 material of your choice in a diagonal, and you'll get a spear. And oh my gosh, let me say that the spear's icon right here, the sprite, wow, that is one of the cleanest ones of all time. Look at how good that iron one's. Maybe you could use this in a frame, rotated for like directional arrows on a sign or something. That looks good. But there is one type of spear that getting your hands on is going to go a little bit different. If you would like to get your hands on a netherite spear, first you'll have to craft a diamond spear, and then inside of a smithing table with a netherite upgrade and a netherite ingot, you can upgrade that diamond spear to a netherite one. This is the only way to get your hands on a netherite spear in Minecraft. It's not used by anyone, and it's not found anywhere. That easily makes the netherite spear the rarest spear out of this whole lineup. But if you want to get your hands on any of the other spears, well, you actually don't even need to necessarily craft them. If you know where to look across your world, you'll actually be able to find a handful of hostile mobs spawning with and wielding a spear. And every single one of these hostile mobs that can spawn with a spear, of course, have the chance to drop the spear as well when they are removed from life. You'll be able to find those plain old classic zombies, both on top of a zombie horse and walking around holding a spear. You'll also be able to find husks or husk jockeys, you know, the ones that ride the camel husks spawning with a spear. Or inside of the nether, you'll be able to find a zombified piglin and a normal piglin too, actually spawning with a golden spear. It is very important to note that all of these mobs that have a spear know how to use the spear with the charge mechanics, the jab attack, and even more. So you're definitely gonna want to be careful here. They're dangerous mobs. But still, even then, there is another way to get your hands on many of the different spears in the game. Across your world, there are things known as structures, and many of those structures have things known as chests. Of course, when it comes to finding things across your world, it's a random chance. You're not guaranteed it. But inside of ocean ruins, if you're lucky, inside of the chest, you're able to find a stone spear. On the other hand, inside of villages, if you're lucky, inside of some of the chests that can generate here, you could either find an iron spear or a copper spear. But for the iron spear, head over to your local beach biome, do a little bit of digging, and hopefully you find a buried treasure, because you could actually find an iron spear there too. And the developers have not slept on the nether either. Inside of the nether, the piglin bastion. Of course, like always, if you're lucky, you're actually able to find diamond spears inside of the piglin bastion. And last but not least, speaking of luck and diamonds, the end city. You could also actually find enchanted diamond spears inside of the end city too. That's a whole lot of exploring though. It's definitely easiest to just craft one. So for the very first time ever, when you're crafting a weapon, you actually have an option. Do you want to go with a sword or do you want to go with a spear? Well, in order to make a properly informed decision here, you're going to want to know what's different about the spear. Alrighty, so first things first, for starters here, let's talk about weapon reach. If you're using something like a sword, an axe, whatever, you're going to have a weapon reach of about 3 blocks. That'll mean if you are within 3 blocks of a target, well, you could definitely hit that target and attack it. Meanwhile, the spear, I mean, take a look at this boy, it's long in hand, and that corresponds to in-game too. Our weapon reach with a mighty spear is going to be a whopping 4.5 blocks. You see how far I can attack this buddy from? It's crazy, but the spear also has a minimum distance too. If I am closer than 2 blocks away from a target, the spear's attack will actually completely miss. And that goes for every attack that you can do with the spear. I'm too close, so I can't land a hit. The spear also has this really cool mechanic where it's like essentially built-in piercing here. If I have targets lined up within range, Well, I can actually hit both of those targets in a single swipe with the spear because it is so long here. It's a little hard to tell, but yeah, I'm definitely dealing a little bit of damage to not just one iron golem, but actually both of them right here. The spear also has a fancy little mechanic known as hitbox inflation. Because the spear attacks a little bit differently, the game actually will automatically make the spear a little bit more accurate. You can see here on my crosshair, when I'm not even inside of the hitbox of the target, well, the crosshair there with that little sword icon is telling me that I can land a hit. Sure enough, if I do an attack, well, I landed a hit. When attacking something with a spear, the target's hitbox is inflated by 0.125. It's not much, but it's going to make it easier to land a hit with a spear. That's a lot already, but believe it or not, that's just the start of it. The spear here, with each tier, it actually has different timings as well. So check this out here. When attacking with a spear, basically, the better the spear, the longer the cooldown the spear is going to have in between potential attacks. So for example here, let's say I was attacking something with a wooden spear. I can see that I can land attacks pretty quickly here. Meanwhile, a netherite spear, the attacks are about a half as quick, but they will deal more damage because netherite is better. Meanwhile, if we go from a wooden spear to something somewhere in the middle, an iron spear is going to have, like, perfectly medium attack speed. Does perfectly medium make sense? Ah, heck it. Here we go. From the Mniecraft wiki, the exact attack speeds of every single tier of spear. Again, as you can see here, the worse the material the spear is made out of, the quicker it'll be able to attack. Of course, important to note, though, that generally speaking, the worse material the spear is made up of, the less damage each individual attack will actually do. So that goes to say, without any extra buffs of speed or anything like that, the netherite spear will attack slower, but each hit will land a whole lot more damage than a wooden spear that attacks pretty quick, or even an iron spear that attacks medium. And pretty much last things last, for our differences between the spear and the sword, we need to take a look at the attacks. OGs will know that the sword kind of has one attack, in a sense, maybe two. We can, of course, slice at something, and that's all good, that's a normal attack. Or I could jump and land a hit to land a critical attack. There's no way to land a crit with a spear, but we do have two different attacks. We could either jab something, or we could run, sprint, and charge attack something with a spear to basically land damage in a completely different way. And so that brings us to our attacks. Next up here, I want you to double check. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm always making guides like this, update videos, whatever. You'll get a bunch every single week. And tragically, only like 30% of you are actually subscribed. And then let's take a look at our different attacks. We'll go ahead and start off with the jab attack. The jab attack is performed by pressing the left click, or like the same button that you would tap to place a block in the game. When I tap it, I will jab with the spear, reaching up to 4.5 blocks away. And if I can hit a target, essentially landing a single time, one hit little damage poke. This jab attack, if you have entities lined up within range of the spear, can definitely go through more than one thing at a time. And the jab attack's cooldown, that's what I was talking about earlier on, with a worse spear having a shorter cooldown. Wooden spear, I could jab pretty quickly here and just keep poking and poking and poking. Meanwhile, a diamond one, I've got a little bit more cooldown before I jab and stab. It is important to note that momentum is not considered at all when one is performing a jab attack. A jab attack has a base set damage amount per tier. There is no way to increase it. Well, that is, other than enchantments. That'll definitely increase your damage. More on those in a second, though. So that's one of our attacks. Our other attack is the charge attack. I'll be able to initiate a charge attack by pressing and holding down the other button. Not the jab button, but the other button that I've got. After that, my spear will lower down into the corner. Now, if I stand here and do nothing, the spear will wiggle and turn eventually. And then, after that, eventually, it'll drop down to the ground. Still holding down, eventually the attack will fail and give up. So the first thing to know about our charge attack here is that the charge attack only lasts so long. But while the spear is down in this formation like this, I can run around and actually attack things just by holding down. The charge attack cares about distance. If I am too close to an entity, I will not be able to charge attack them. I need to actually be a little bit of a ways away, and I need to have some momentum going for me too. The charge will have different charge times, depending on the tier of the spear. Courtesy of the Mniecraft wiki again, here are our different activation delays for every single spear, and our full activation time for every single spear charge attack as well. As you can see from this chart, the wooden spear's charge attack actually lasts almost twice as long as the netherite spear. You remember how at Minecraft Live, when they said the spear will deal increased damage based on how quick you are moving? Well, that's all about the charge attack here. If I can move quicker, each hit will land more damage. So, for example, let's say I had a horse. Let's say I have a horse over here. I have a saddle on that horse. This is my horse, fully tamed, and then I have a spear. I could sprint, charge, and one hit many different things inside of the game that don't have that much health. So this is where this thing is crazy. I'm charging again with this horse, and oh, yeah, this is where if you have a horse, the spear is 100% the weapon, the way to go. This horse right here is just sort of has an average speed. It'll be in the world download world. You can go ahead and test it out if you'd like. But yeah, with an average speed horse, I can run around and stab 2 jabs onto the villager. And he's gone. He's history. Other mobs like things like a cow, a sheep, a pig, it's 1 poke and they're gone. Again, remember that when running around on a horse using the jab attack, the damage is not increased. It's just another option that you have for attacking. Now, if you think about it, inside of Minecraft, there are many different ways one could go about increasing their momentum. For starters here, the absolute basics. If I am walking around with a jab attack, I mean, yeah, I can walk and jab, but sprinting, well, that'll increase the momentum and therefore increase the amount of damage that I can land with each jab. Charge. But there's even more. Let's say I have Elytra. Well, I could definitely rocket myself around the world with an Elytra, charge up my spear, and okay, I'm not as good with this one, but you get the idea. While I'm flying around charging with the spear, I can land a whole lot of damage, especially if my momentum is going pretty quick. 4 different attack comparisons here, damage amounts. The Minecraft wiki has this beautiful box with a bunch of different ways at increasing your travel speed. An Elytra with a firework boost speed? Well, thanks to this GIF that we can see on the Minecraft wiki, you can see a player is Elytra boosting and can take out another player in full netherite in 3 clean hits. Another pretty cool thing that you can kind of notice here with the charge attack, if I am moving quick enough and charge at something, I'm actually dealing a little bit of knockback to whatever that thing is that I'm charging at here. Again, it's kind of hard to notice because I'm just running around and sprinting. If I'm moving quicker, it'll deal more knockback. But yeah, I can actually knock things back with this charge attack too. But wait, what's that? There's another thing you can do with the charge attack too? Huh? Alright, so for this one, we're gonna need to have somebody or something else. Then, we're going to need to have something to increase my momentum a bit here. So let's say here I was on a horse. And now when I do this charge attack, I have 3 different phases. This is phase 1, where it begins. Then it goes to phase 2. Then finally phase 3. When the spear is in phase 2 or 3, it will not be able to do this next part. But if I'm moving quick enough with the spear and it's in phase 1, you can dismount enemies as well. But this will only happen before your spear is wiggling. Once your spear begins dropping down and wiggling, I mean, you'll be able to still land damage if you can get close enough, but it won't dismount anybody. If you have a horse with a spear and you're accurate and quick with your hits, this is a crazy good way to deal damage to your enemies. Both spear attacks, they definitely have their best situations to be used in and are pretty sick. Next up here, let's talk a little bit about buffing the spear, because oh boy, you could buff it quite a bit. As goes with any other tool in the entire game, you can enchant the spear inside of an enchanting table, and oh man, the enchantments that you can get out of an enchanting table on a spear, well, there are so many different ones, including the one brand new unique spear enchantment as well, called lunge. As you can see here though, from a quick level 30 enchanting run, the enchantments that I pulled out of this table on the spear are consistently pretty stacked here. These are really good spears. There's a lot of charts here today, but when it comes to every single spear enchantment in the entire game from the Minecraft wiki again, these are all of them. Basically, almost all of the sword enchantments can go on the spear as well. Big ones to note here, of course, your damage increasing enchantments, looting, which is really good to have on a spear, and this brand new one called lunge. Now, lunge is a brand new enchantment added to the game alongside the addition of the spear. There are 3 different levels to it, and just like I did a second ago, you can find it inside of the enchanting table. Now, the lunge enchantment went through multiple different iterations during the development cycle for this update. The iteration of lunge that we ended up landing on, well, it's going to consume a little bit of durability on your spear and a little bit of a hunger on your hunger bar. So here I have 3 different spears, one with lunge 1, lunge 2, and then lunge 3. If I go ahead and run, jump, use the lunge spear, well, I'm actually being lunged forward by like 1 block. We can see there that my lunge spear is consuming durability every single time I use it. Next up, we've got a lunge 2 spear. I'm running and I use it, and you can see there, specifically when I jump, Then I'm being lunged a little bit farther, but oh no, my hunger is starting to be consumed. 2 hunger for every single use. Oh, but then if you want to lunge max it here, you have a lunge 3 and you do it. Oh, wow, I get lunged the most forward, but it will also consume the most amount of hunger as well per lunge hit at 3. Every single time you lunge, only 1 durability will be consumed every single time. So lunge can basically be used to pull you towards whatever you're looking at. It's almost like Riptide, except no trident and no water needed at all. It's really cool. Now, there are some ways to definitely do a little bit of lunge maxing, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Because in relation to that, let's actually take a look at our best spear in the entire game. There are 2. Our first best spear here, of course, is going to be a little bit of a netherite enchanted spear with a stack of enchantments. To create the best spear for combat in the entire game, get your hands on all of these enchantments on the spear. Of course, your sharpness, you could interchange that for Bane of Arthropods or Smite, depending on your preference. If you can get your hands on a spear like this, you can run around, sprint, and one hit, like so many different things in the game, no horse required. But you bring a horse into the mix and this thing, it's an all-out machine. This is illegal. But there is another best spear in the entire game, and this time, it's actually a wooden spear. If you want to use your spear for travel, then get a lunge 3, unbreaking 3, mending wooden spear. This one, you'll have to probably end up building with enchanted books from villagers and the enchanting table. Now, this slides us into our best uses for the spear. The final thing I'd like to talk about today. There are sort of 2 different options you could go with. Option number 1, maybe you're trying to use a spear for travel around your world. If that's the case, well then this is your spear all the way. With the lunge 3 spear, because our cooldown is the lowest it is, you could basically spam lunge and like kind of fly around your world. Big thing to note here is when going up blocks, lunge has a little bit of a drawback, kind of limited. And you won't be able to use the lunge enchantment if your hunger is at 2 hunches or lower. So pair it with a little bit of food and then jump around, use the lunge, and you can travel through your world very, very quickly. I actually did a whole science experiment and showed it off in this video right here. On the other hand, your other best use for the spear, well, is danger. Take a little bit of time inside of your world, get your hands on a really, really overpowered horse, a good spear. Go ahead and combine all that jazz together, and then you've got a one-hitting death machine. You run around in your world and light things on fire, attack things, and yeah, I mean, this thing is just so strong like this. Pair it with a horse, and you're unstoppable. You could also use a spear on foot in a combat situation when you're trying to take on something dangerous, because it has a really, really long reach, like much longer than something like an iron golem. So you could safely stand at a distance here and keep poking this thing. No armor on at all. And I mean, the risk is way less high than running up at an iron golem with a sword, no armor. Yeah, I would never try and do that. But this, I mean, it's really not that bad at all. I could take that out with no challenge. All in all, the spear is easily one of the best additions to Minecraft in a long time. If you know something else about the spear, drop it down below. And thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Everything series. Check out the playlist on the end card for even more about everything to know inside of Minecraft. I'll see you all tomorrow. Adios, muchachos. Oh, what's that? You want a bonus fact? Well, did you know that the Minecraft movie actually had spears? Like right here, you could see the piglins flying around invading, and they were wielding spears months ahead of time.